guys, welcome to another video. So this week's video is going to be a little bit different than normal. Essentially, a couple weeks back I had uploaded a cover of Serotonin by Girl in Red, and from that video I actually got a request to do a tutorial, which is kind of cool. And it was one of my favorite songs, so I decided I'm gonna make this into a two-part video. So today's video is going to be part one. And basically I'm gonna be going over open tuning, the open tuning that I use to play the song. I'm also gonna be going over how I tune the strings to the different notes. And I'm also gonna be talking about what you can do to avoid buzzing and other types of problems that people experience when they use like a drop tuning. So yeah, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and let's jump right into it. All right, so just starting out, I'm gonna be talking a little bit about open tuning and the open tuning that I like to use for this song. So if you're a little unfamiliar as to what open tuning is, essentially you're changing the notes of the strings, you're changing the tone, if you will, so that when you strum all the strings, it actually makes a full chord sound without having to press down. So as you can hear, that definitely sounds like a chord. It doesn't really sound like when you strum on a regular guitar in standard tuning, because essentially standard tuning is going to be E, A, D, G, B, and E. But what we're using for this song is open D. So it's literally just all the notes in a D chord. So you're doing low D, A, D, and then F sharp, A, and D. And you know, some of the benefits of that, you don't have to use as many fingers when you're trying to make chords. So for example, for Serotonin, I'm just pressing down on the lowest string and it's changing the sound a little bit. I'm just changing the bass note, that's all I'm doing, but all the other strings are staying the same. So that's a really cool thing about open tuning is you can play a lot of stuff without having to memorize a bunch of hand positions and chords and things like that. So that's what I like about the open tuning. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is what I use to tune the strings. So I really like the snark. This is what it looks like. Basically, it clips right on to the guitar like this. And when you turn it on, you'll see on the display screen it'll say the name of the note that you're trying to play. So basically, you want to stay in the green while you're using it. Green means that you're in tune. If it's red, that means you're flat. And if it's yellow, it means it's too sharp. If you don't have one of these, but you have like a different kind that you like using at home, you can use that. Or if you have kind of a decent ear and you're able to just tune to a piano that you have at home, that works too. But I really like these just because when you clip it on the headstock, it actually reads the vibration of the sound, so it doesn't pick up any excess noise. So if you're using just a regular tuner that you set on a table, sometimes anything in the background might get picked up and it might affect what you're trying to do. So that's why I really like these clip-on tuners, because it just reads the vibration. So next, I'm gonna be going over how I tune each of the strings and kind of what each note is to be able to make that open D tuning. So let's get a little bit closer here. All right, so this low string closest to me, typically that is a low E string, but you're actually gonna be tuning it down. So you're gonna be turning this toward you to bring it down to that low D. And then going over to this next string, the A string, you can actually leave that string alone because that is already tuned to an A. And then going over to this next string, the D, that one is also gonna stay the same because that is already the D string on a guitar. So far you have low D, A, and D, okay? Now heading over to the G string, you're actually gonna be tuning that down to an F sharp. Now, once you get to this side of the headstock, so when you're tuning these last three strings, everything is actually going to be opposite from the other side. So remember when I said that in order to tune it down, you had to turn this toward you? Well, for the G string up here, in order to tune it down, you actually need to be tuning this away from you. So far we have low D, A, D, and then F sharp. And then next, the B string, you are also going to be tuning that down, and that's going to be tuned to an A. So once again, you're going to be tuning this, turning it away from you. Okay? And then finally, the top string, that's normally a high E, but we're just going to be tuning it down to a D. So that's going to be down again, so you're going to be tuning this away from you. Okay, so that is the tuning that I use, that open D tuning. Now, depending on what kind of guitar you have, it's very, very possible, probably very likely, that when you tune the strings that low, you're going to be creating a lot of buzzing. And the reason for that is because you're reducing the tension. The distance from the strings to the fretboard is going to be a lot smaller. So when you pluck the string, it might, I'm just trying to give an example of what it would maybe sound like. See, hear that right there? So that's what it might sound like when you tune the strings really low. So one piece of advice that I would have for that is, if you know someone, or if you take it to a music store or a guitar center or wherever is close to you, ask if someone is available to kind of do a setup on it. So essentially they would make the adjustments necessary so that you are able to tune your guitar in that way and you're not going to have any buzzing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, this is part 1 of a 2-part video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please leave me a comment below for any additional questions. I hope to see you guys for next week's video, where I actually go over the hand position and chords that I use for Serotonin. Once again, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.